Good afternoon. Welcome to Make It Faster. You know, you can make everything faster. It doesn't matter what it is. Here, this is a job site, a construction job site. You come in here, you tear woods down, you build stuff. You have many different trades when it comes to building a structure of this size. Every trade has what's called a performance standard, basically how efficient they are. There's other ways to make a trade faster. There's a lot of ways to make them slower. So scheduling is one of the biggest. You can schedule trades to work on top of each other and they won't be as efficient. They'll be slow. They won't be able to dig where they need to dig, or backfill where they need to backfill, or run pipe where they need to run pipe, because there's other trades in there. So scheduling is the biggest part of it. Having this much vast room helps a lot with scheduling. We can put one guy in one certain area. Here's my mechanical, my plumber, roughing in pipes in the office space, and I can have concrete guys over here running form boards and backfilling, getting final grade on dirt. I can have electricians on another part of the building working. I can have site guys clearing woods around us. So scheduling is the biggest part of making a job more efficient. So I'm gonna give you a little tour of this job and where we started. So this whole job site looks like the woods around us. That's how a job starts. All starts with a survey. A surveyor tells you where the architect and the owner have laid out the building, the orientation, and all the details that your county and state requires. So we come in here, we clear the woods. As you can see, the spoil piles over there, lots of pine trees, lots of palmettos. This is Florida, nothing but palmetto bushes. Lots of waste that'll be burned or hauled off. These dirt piles here that are mixed with wood and debris will be used in areas not for building, like a edge of a pond, you know, developing slopes on a pond. That's where that'll be ate up. So on this job, we've got two ponds over here, side by side. This building is 300 foot wide and 500 foot long, 150,000 square foot. There's an office space on the front, 50 by 170, I believe, about 8,000 square feet. Multiple lean-tos. Right now we're in a lean-to. You can see, I think this is 34 feet, this lean-to, outside the building. I broke this down into 4 quadrants, and that's part of the scheduling I was talking to you about and making a job more efficient. You don't want to take on the entire job. It would be too much of a logistical headache. So we break it down into 4 separate quadrants. Basically, you've got 4 separate buildings. I've got HVAC, I've got plumbing, I've got compressed air, natural gas, electrician, I've got concrete guys, everybody's got to work in every quadrant around this building. So part of the scheduling and making everything more efficient and faster is breaking it up into 4 quadrants. So I've got an office space going right now. I've got the southeast quadrant and I've got the northeast quadrant going, where I can break these trades up. Now here's a section of plumbing rough in, all the way from this trench drain. This is where a water jet goes, a couple water jets, so it's got a floor drain here. Even an area as small as this will get inspected. Once our inspector delivers it, we'll backfill it and we know we're good to continue on. So we break these things off into these little sections like this so that the inspector can inspect it and give it to us, and that's delivered. That's 100%. Then we can move on. Sometimes we have a section, you know, the electrical conduits in this first quadrant. I did all the electrical conduits, inspected at once. Same thing with this quadrant. All the electrical sleeves were prepped at one time, inspected, backfilled, basically delivered and ready for the next step. all part of scheduling, making everything faster, making this process go better for the owner and, well, for the contractor and essentially the owner. So this is just starting to be backfilled. All these electrical conduits you see poked up around here are just now being backfilled. So that's why we've got a rough grade in here. This is kind of the second stage of this quadrant and getting it to the point where we can pour concrete on it. Now this one's a lot closer. You can see the dirt grade in here. That's your final grade. Concrete guys will come in, we treat it, termites, pest control will come in here and dump a certain amount of chemical on this area square foot as required by the city and county and state. We'll cover it with Visqueen and we'll pour concrete, 5 inches of concrete in this whole area. This is what's called a spread footer. Okay, there's multiple spread footers through this building. We've got lines through here every 75 feet. Is a line of columns. And that's set up like that because this building's gonna be predominantly warehouse space. And it's gonna have an overhead crane. It's gonna have 2 overhead cranes that run the entire length of the building. So there'll be a row of columns right here running east and west the entire 500-foot distance of this building, and an overhead crane will be able to run this distance from end to end wall, both sides of the middle. So this is where we're at. We're a couple weeks into really being on site and getting started. We've got concrete scheduled for roughly 1 week away, so I'm really happy about that. Once I get concrete poured in the office up there, I can release many trades up in there. I have lots of work for many different trades, so we'll be going in there. So I'll do one of these videos every Friday showing the progress of this building and what I've learned during the week and how I can expedite this process for the owner. Every construction job there's ever been runs behind. It always runs behind. Many reasons. Here in Florida, mainly it's weather. So we're gonna try to expedite this process. And not let this job get behind. We're gonna try to get it ahead. Why? Because we like to make everything faster. See you next Friday.